So we spoke about assumption, the idea of that we without proof, we just say things or we assume things. So this word is the next one. I think it's also quite important. It's the word belief. It's an acceptance that something exists or true, and especially without proof. So the idea is people believe in extraterrestrial life. They believe in having faith, because belief is faith, is in good faith, is actually from religious context. So the idea of people, I believe you, is actually the idea of backing something up with the idea of you empathise with someone. The trouble is with belief is sometimes without proof in the world we live in. So the trouble is someone can say, I believe in, with religion, God, but you see other religions have different gods. So this is where the atheist argument comes in of, well, why is your God more important than all the other gods of all different cultures? So the idea of belief is about, the idea is that it's a subject, but it's also a subjective attitude as well. So the objective is you objectify and you understand it, but subjective attitude is that the mental state of having someone is to have an opinion on something, and that is their belief. But this is the trouble. Having someone who has two opposing beliefs is there will always be conflict. But the idea is trying to find a common thread of where they can be of acceptance and not assumption on something. See, the trouble is with the idea of assumption and someone's belief, they're very similar words. So, for example, the way some people have very stereotypical views is that they would see that someone who says they're a Muslim, if you were having stereotypes, the assumption would be, oh, well, if they're a Muslim, they believe that women shouldn't have equal rights. They believe, this is what someone, if they had an assumption, not my belief, they would have this assumption that, oh, well, potential that person, because they're Muslim, they could be a terrorist. That is assumption, and that belief is done by social conditioning. So the social conditioning is just not the outside world, but the media does cause a lot of social conditioning. Social media does, but also the way you're brought up and in your environment. So if you're brought up in an environment where you have been taught that certain people are of a certain ilk or a certain attitude, then that is where things like racism, prejudice, and basically negative stereotyping happens. So the idea is when you have beliefs, is you should always question your beliefs and always be open to listen to new people's perspectives. And remove the assumption of when you meet someone. Because the assumption is that you think that everybody is cut from the same cloth, and they're just not.